Hi, I'm Frank, and I would like to tell you my story, my Poland syndrome story. When I was born, there was a muscle in my body missing. This is called a Poland syndrome. A Poland syndrome, as you might already know, can have different kind of forms. So some people have a muscle missing, mostly the pectoralis muscle, or other people might have um, the fingers stick together and their arm is less strong than the other arm. So you find lots of information when you Google Poland syndrome, and there are as well other videos on YouTube already. So my Poland syndrome story started um, basically in the age of 12, around 12, because until then I had no right pectoralis muscle. This is the upper breast muscle, but it didn't really bother me until then. It was just then when it came with the age where you become a teenager, and I was getting into girls and dating. So I was really upset and very shy to take off my shirt, because I thought everybody would see the difference and maybe wouldn't like it. So I was really complaining about it all the time to my parents, and my parents had the idea um, it would be a good idea, they thought, to help me with that. So they made an appointment with a well-renowned doctor. In German it's Chirurg, a surgeon. And this surgeon told my parents that he can help, and they informed us about two possibilities to get an operation done. One of which was to fill up the breast muscle space with silicone, which back then was quite new technology, and it was not well developed. So the other possibility seemed to be much better. From my point of view today, I wouldn't really recommend it to anyone. But here's what it is. Um, it's called Muscle Aufbau OP in German. So you just basically take a part of a different muscle, which is known from other operations. So you take a part of a muscle from the back, from the latissimus dorsi, and it's placed in front on the spot where there was no pectoralis in my case. Um, so the result is actually optically okay. Still, I wouldn't really recommend it, and from my point of view today, it is not a very good idea to take a muscle from one part of the body to place it on another, for several reasons, and I want to tell you about this. First, an operation is a very risky thing, because lots of connective tissue gets hurt, and in my case, and in any operation this is the case. So the connective tissue has many important functions. This leads me to the second point. The second point would be that the muscle from the back is basically shaped in a certain way, or correct me if I'm wrong, but it has a certain way to contract. And if it's a back muscle, it's used to contract backward, and so it first has to adjust for a long time on its new spot in the front, which it has over the years, for I'm now 43 years old, and back then I was 12 years when the operation was made. Which leads me to the third point. It's not a good idea to get operated in such an early age, I would say, today, because in the time over the course of the years, when I was about 25, 28, with a more adult mind, or yeah, how can I say, my thinking changed, and I was quite sure that if back then I had to decide if I wanted an operation or not, I wouldn't have done it. So in the age of 12, my parents considered it's a good option, and they decided, because I wasn't able to sign the contract with the doctor. So I think this should be a decision an adult mind takes for him or herself, and not something that should be decided in the age of 12 or 13. Maybe my parents thought it would be a good idea to do it because they were afraid that I'm getting, because of the missing muscle, I'm getting serious complex, and feel very unhappy with my body, which was the case back then. But I think this is just natural in puberty, in the teenage. So this might have changed over the time. Yeah, I see that the light is coming back from the window, so this is not an ideal technical situation I'm standing in here, but I still hope you you are satisfied with the quality of the video. If not, please leave a comment. And yeah, as I said, from the operation, I can tell you that that it causes several follow-up problems. When you have a part of your muscle from the back put in the front place where the pectoralis should be, from the surgery point of view, it's not a problem. But from the functionality, from the functional point of view, this causes some problems. So I don't know if you can see, but my right side is slightly torn. The shoulder is not really well stabilized from the back muscle, the latissimus dorsi, anymore. So the whole body, in general, I can say it's a little out of balance, of its natural balance, and therefore has some tendencies to compensate, which can cause other problems. And so there's a lot of discipline necessary to regulate the muscle chains back up once you have this operation done. And this is what I'm what I'm still about to do, to get help from certain body working methods, or body behavioral methods, and physical training, to get my body in a state that I feel comfortable with, that I'm not doing things which aren't really necessary in order to compensate. Yeah, this is a quite long learning process, which in fact just started, even though the operation was done almost 30 years ago, over 30 years ago. Yes. The other thing is, an operation in has always many risks, as you know, that you can that unforeseeable injuries take place, and someone maybe might not wake up after the narcosis, even though it's a very, very small risk. The operational risk is there. Okay. Yeah. What I want, after now complaining about the operation, or telling you that it's not a good idea, I don't want to leave you with this. I want to say that people with Poland syndrome, like myself, have the ability to lead a happy life, to have things done that they want to do, especially taking part in activities that you really enjoy can be a very good idea. As for me, I can say this is dancing, participating in sport activities of all kinds, like windsurfing. Um, um, yeah, lots of things. Is everything, almost everything, is possible with the Poland syndrome, from my point of view, with my disability. Um, when I started dancing contact improvisation, which is a kind of improvised dance in contact with another person or more than one person, I realized that my body has a tendency to lock in the back when I make certain movements, and this was the doorway to experiment in other ways with my body, to see where is that coming from, what kind of movement does my body like, what kind of movement does it not like. And yeah, this is a journey and a process still lasting and leading me to very interesting discoveries. It's not so much about the outcome anymore, but about taking the next step and just being with my body, with Poland syndrome, and making the best possible out of it. And I believe this is what everybody can do, no matter what's with his or her body. We all have the chance to decide. We have the chance to make up our mind to do the best possible in any given way. And this way we might, or I'm pretty sure we do feel better. Yes, so you now know my story. I hope you can take something out of it for yourself, or you might like to leave a comment. I'm glad that you listened to me. Thank you, and bye bye.